Life can test us in ways we never expect. Imagine being behind bars, your freedom gone, and discovering you're about to become a mother. This was Maria's reality, a mother-to-be in a state penitentiary. Her story isn't just about loss, but about the strength of a mother's love. Maria's pregnancy was her secret hope, a spark in a world built to crush spirits. Each kick reminded her she was more than her past. She was a creator of life. At night, she whispered promises to her unborn child. A world beyond fences filled with love. Her baby became her reason to wake up, her motivation to change. Giving birth in prison is unimaginable for most. No partner, no family, just cold rules and distance. Yet Maria found strength in solitude, reading every book on motherhood she could find. She learned, she prepared, determined to fight for her child. Her hope was an act of rebellion. Maria's journey shows that hope can bloom in the most barren places. She was judged by her past, but focused on her child's future. Her pregnancy was a silent protest, a declaration that love and life can exist even in places of punishment. Maria's story reminds us, our environment doesn't define our capacity for love. Surrounded by despair, she chose hope. She was more than a number. She was a mother fighting for redemption. Even in prison, she believed every soul deserves a chance to love. Maria's hope was her greatest act of defiance. It was a testament to the power of a mother's will. In the darkest place, she chose to nurture light. Her story asks us to see the person, not just the prisoner, and to remember hope can survive anywhere. As Maria's due date neared, hope and fear battled inside her. Every day was a countdown, not just to birth, but to vulnerability in a harsh world. She worried, would she be treated with dignity? Would her baby's first moments be cold and sterile? Yet hope kept her going. She imagined her baby's face, clung to dreams of holding tiny fingers. The prison's rigid routine left no space for gentleness, and Maria felt deeply isolated. While other mothers had support, Maria was alone, just an inmate number carrying precious cargo. Still, she created her own sacred space, singing lullabies in the quiet moments. These songs were promises of a better life, a love that could cross any barrier. In her hands and heart, she built a world for her child, safe and warm, if only in spirit. It was an act of defiance, pure, undiluted motherly love. Maria's hope was her shield against despair. Even in concrete and steel, she found ways to nurture her child. Her love was a quiet rebellion, and it gave her strength to face what was coming. When labor began, Maria's fears became real. There was no comfort, just suspicion, bureaucracy, and cold, sterile walls. Escorted by guards, she was treated as a security risk, not a mother. The room was harsh, the staff detached. She was shackled to the bed, a painful reminder of her status. Alone, Maria drew strength from her love for her unborn child. She focused on the promises she'd whispered in her cell. Through pain and isolation, she repeated her silent mantra, "We are strong. I am here for you." The emotional agony of being alone was as intense as the physical pain. Finally, after hours of struggle, her baby was born. The first cry shattered the sterile silence, a sound of hope and new beginnings. In that moment, the prison faded away. Maria was not an inmate, she was a mother. She had brought a miracle into the world. For a brief instant, nothing else mattered. It was the culmination of fear, hope, loneliness, and love. Maria's strength had carried her through. The nurse placed Maria's newborn in her arms, and the world stopped. All the pain and hardship melted away as she gazed at her daughter's face. She named her Esperanza, Hope. In that sterile room, a sacred bond was forged. Maria whispered promises of love and protection. She counted tiny fingers and toes, memorizing every detail. For the first time in years, Maria felt whole. The prison, the guards, the rules, all faded outside this bubble of love. She focused on the warmth of her daughter, the steady beat of her tiny heart. Time stood still as she held her, cherishing every second. When the nurse came to take Esperanza to the nursery, Maria's heart clenched. She hugged her daughter one last time, whispering, "Mama loves you." Reluctantly, she let go, her arms empty but her heart full. She had met her daughter and she was perfect. In that moment, Maria found peace. She was a mother, if only for a moment. That moment was everything, and it would carry her through what came next. Maria awoke, eager to see her baby, but the nurse's words chilled her. "The baby is not in the nursery. She was discharged with her designated guardian. Panic surged. Maria hadn't signed anything. There was no plan for this. She begged for answers, but was met with cold bureaucracy. All the proper protocols were followed, they said. Her baby, her Esperanza, was gone. The moments blurred into frantic questions and official indifference. A guard, an administrator, no one would tell her where her daughter was. Maria's arms ached with emptiness, her heart shattered. The system had swallowed her child. She had held Esperanza, kissed her, and now she was gone. The silence in the infirmary was now a nightmare. It was the sound of a mother's world falling apart. Maria's grief was overwhelming, but she refused to accept this loss. She demanded answers, but the system offered only stone walls. Her baby had vanished, and so had her peace. The joy of motherhood was ripped away in an instant. Maria was left with only questions and a void where her daughter should have been. The pain was unbearable, but Maria's fight was just beginning. She would not let her daughter become a forgotten file. She would not give up. Maria's grief turned to fierce resolve. From her cell, she demanded paperwork, filed grievances, and wrote letters to anyone who might help. Most requests were ignored or blocked by red tape. The system treated her pain as a nuisance, her questions as trouble. She was dismissed, her rights as a mother ignored. Alone, she tried to piece together what happened, but found only silence. Other inmates were too scared to help. Guards were openly hostile. Still, Maria refused to give up. Every unanswered letter fueled her determination. She would not let Esperanza be forgotten. News of Maria's vanished baby spread through the prison. Some inmates whispered, others taunted her cruelly. She became a cautionary tale, a target for judgment and gossip. Guards treated her with contempt, writing her up for minor infractions. "That baby is better off," one sneered, trying to break her spirit. Doubt crept in, but Maria clung to the memory of Esperanza's face. She built a wall around herself, showing no emotion. The barrage of judgment was exhausting, but it only strengthened her resolve. Maria refused to accept their narrative. Every whisper, every taunt made her more determined. Her fight was for Esperanza, and for her own dignity. She would not let others write the end of her story. Maria's love was unbreakable. Amid cruelty, small acts of kindness became Maria's lifelines. An older inmate, Sarah, left extra fruit on her tray, a silent gesture of solidarity. A new counselor, Mr. Evans, listened without judgment and helped her draft letters. He made calls on her behalf, treating her with dignity. Outside, a journalist named Jessica received one of Maria's letters and began investigating. Jessica's articles brought Maria's story to the public. Letters of support arrived from strangers, offering hope and encouragement. These acts of kindness reminded Maria she wasn't alone. Compassion could exist, even in prison. Sarah's fruit, Mr. Evans's help, Jessica's articles, they were threads of hope. They didn't bring Esperanza back, but they gave Maria strength. The world was not entirely cold. Maria's fight continued, fueled by kindness. Weeks turned to months, and still no word of Esperanza. The emptiness was a constant ache, but Maria found a quiet strength. She had survived the unimaginable and was still standing. Hope, she learned, is a choice, a decision to keep fighting, even in darkness. Maria's purpose became clear, to be a voice for the voiceless. She fought not just for her daughter, but for all women silenced by the system. As of September 2025, Maria has not been reunited with Esperanza. The legal battle continues with new hope as inconsistencies are uncovered. Maria is now free, dedicating her life to advocacy and reform. Her pain became power, her story a call for change. There is no happy ending yet, but Maria's hope endures. She is and always will be Esperanza's mother, a mother fighting for hope.